honest for a second. When you see something like, does your brain go, nope, I'm out? Because same. But here's the thing, linear equations, they're actually so chill once you understand what they're saying. They're literally just tiny puzzles that want to balance both sides. That's it. Just balance. And how to read it, it's so easy once you understand the basic original formula. So grab your notebook, a pencil, decalix, and let's learn how to make linear equations in the most relaxing way possible. Hi and welcome back to a new video by me, Educational ASMR. In this video, we're going to talk about linear equations, what it is, how to solve one, but also how to recognize how the graph actually looks like. So first, what is a linear equation? Okay, so the word linear literally comes from line. When you graph it, it makes a straight line. It can be vertical, horizontal, but also as a slope. So linear equals line, which equals to straight. There's no curve, no drama. A linear equation is something like, that's the classic form. So the 2 here is the slope. It tells you how steep your line is. In this case, every time x increases with 1, y increases with 2. And the 3 is the y-intercept, where your line crosses the y-axis. You can think of it like this. The slope decides how fast you go. The intercept decides where you start. Simple, right? It's like walking up a hill. The slope is how steep it is, and the intercept is where your feet first touch the ground. Let's try to make your own linear equation. Step 1, you have to pick your slope. Then you have to pick where you start your intercept. And here's my example. I chose 2 and 3. So the 2 represents that each time x increases by 1, y increases by 2. And the 3 means that the line basically starts at 3. Sure, it can be negative, but in the real world, it will stop there because you can't have negative apples. You can't walk negative distances. So now you have your own linear equation. Really good job. You literally create a math sentence. And now try another question by me. What if your slope is -1 and your intercept is 5? Try to write it out. Answer in 3, 2, 1. See, every time x goes up, y goes down. It's a negative slope, a downhill. Good job. So now let's switch. What if we want to solve one? So where the first part is going to consist of equations like this, and the next part is going to be of equations like this, where you have a graph as well. So firstly, we're solving for x, and the golden rule is whatever you do to one side, do to the other. So step 1 is subtract 5 from both sides. Step 2, divide both sides by 3. And now you're done. And here's another one. Add 8 to both sides and divide by 4. And now for the second part. This is a more advanced version of linear equations, which is when you write y equals as something with x, like. But in these cases, think of it, how many answers are there? Answer in 3, 2, 1. As long as the equation is written as y equals 2x plus 1, the linear equations has an infinite number of solutions. For example, and as you can see on the graph, it doesn't have an end point or a start point. It just continues and in eternity. So here's how to make linear equations feel less scary. Think of the equal sign as a scale. It's not just decoration. Both sides must weigh the same. Like when you're holding 2 bags, it's better if they weigh the same. In that case, your shoulders won't get hurt because the weight is equally distributed. And move terms like you're teleporting them. When something crosses the equal sign, its sign flips. Example, +5 becomes -5. And that's really important to remember when you're solving linear equations and just equations overall. And simplify before solving. Like, clean up both sides, like tidying your desk before studying. Take out numbers without the factor x. For example, 2x plus 5 equals 10. Here it's both 5 and 10. That is the mess you have to tidy. And lastly, check your answers. Plug x back in. Replace x with your answer. If both sides match, you did it right. And always do this during the tests to be 100% sure. So if you ever doubt it, test it. Math doesn't gaslight you like some freaking boys do. So let's do some together, some practice examples. Question 1. Try it in your head, please. And feel free to pause the video as well. So the first step is to subtract. Oh my days, this is the second time. Subtract 6 from both sides. And now you have 2x equals 4. Now divide by 2. And you have x equals 2. Question 2. Step 1, you add 3 on the right side. And then you divide by 5 and you get x equals 2. Oh, again, math twins. Now the third question. So step 1, you subtract 2. Now you have -4x equals 8, and you divide it by -4, which is x equals to -2. Tell me if you want harder questions. I can write some for you in the comments. So every time you solve one, your brain literally gets faster at balancing patterns, like gym reps, but for neurons. This is something you have to practice. It's not something you will be able to master overnight, because practice makes perfect. So now, what if the problem is in words? You can turn sentences into equations. For example, a number plus 3 is equal to 7. Let the number be x, and that is so easy. So you have now x plus 3 equals to 7. Now you have linear equations which you can solve. And here's another one, try it for yourself. Twice a number minus 5 equals 9. How would you write that as a linear equation with the variable x? If you wrote this, it's correct. Yay! And you have to solve it as well. And I will leave it to you and comment down below what answer you got. So see, you can literally translate English into math, like decoding a secret language. So let's do some example questions that using linear equations but the more advanced version. So firstly, imagine you work as a tutor and earns $12 per hour. You already receive a base payment of $20 for preparing lessons and like doing extra example questions. Write an equation that shows your total earnings y after x hours of tutoring. You can pause the video if you're not done yet. But so firstly, we can see that the thing that is depending on how many hours you work is the $12. So that has to stand next to x. So right now the total earnings you have is y equals to 12x. But hey, we also have the base payment of $20 for you preparing the lessons, because you're being such a good tutor. So now we have to add that to your total salary. So now we have y equals to 12x plus 20, and that is your salary depending on how many hours you work. $12 per hour depends on how many hours you work, but the 20 doesn't have an x in it because that doesn't depend on how many hours you work. That just depends on that you prepare the lessons, that you have applied to be a tutor. That includes in your salary without considering how many hours you work. Now let's do a second one, and the next few questions I won't tell you how to make it because it's basically the same structure for every word problem. But if you don't really understand how to solve one, you can just write in the comment and I will answer you. So a car starts 10 kilometers away from a city and drives at 80 kilometers per hour toward it. Write an equation showing the car's distance y from the city after x hours. How many kilometers away are they after 3 hours? And the third question is the relationship between degrees Celsius x and degrees Fahrenheit y can be written as: if the temperature is 20 degrees, what is it in Fahrenheit? Number 4. You buy a monthly subscription for $5 plus $2 per item you order. Write an equation for your total cost y if you order x items. And let's say you order 8 items. What is the total cost? Fifth, your phone plan costs $100 per month. Oh, it's a very expensive one. Plus $2 per minute of calling. Sixth, a plant is 15 centimeters tall and grows 2 centimeters per week. What is the equation for the height y after x weeks? How tall is it after 3 weeks. And lastly, you spend $30 to buy ingredients and make a profit of $2.5 per smoothie you sell. And you should write an equation for the total profit Y after selling X smoothies. And now for a question that is pretty much hard if you don't understand. How many smoothies do you have to sell to be at least lose no money or actually win or gain money? To help you and give you a tip, the total cost to buy the ingredients have to be at least equal to the total profit you get, or not the total profit, the total income you get from selling your smoothies. Okay, so now for a mini recap. So first we started talking about linear equations, and they make straight lines and they look like. You can create them by picking a slope and intercept. You can solve them by balancing both sides, and you have to think of the equal sign as fairness. And then we also talked about the more advanced one, when there could be word problems and you have to create your own graph. And lastly, always test your answer. Always save 10 minutes of the exam time to go through your answers and test it out if it's actually correct. And most importantly, you're literally learning how logic works, how to balance, isolate, and find truth. And that it can be pretty hard, but as I've said, practice make perfect, and it won't take you 1 week to excel at this. You need to do like 3 questions per day, or maybe that's too much. I wouldn't have the motivation to do that. Maybe like 5 linear equations per week. So if your brain feels relaxed, that's just the sound of math actually clicking and my so good explanation. I'm just kidding. But next time someone says math is stressful, you know that they're wrong. They just don't really understand. So I hope you studied well and understood what I went through in this video. If you didn't, then I did something wrong, and just please write that in the comment if you have any feedback or something you didn't really think was clear enough. And always remember to balance both sides, but also in life. Don't study too much. Also have a social life with your family, friends, yourself, because balance is key. But thank you so much for watching, and before you leave this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in